Cinderella 2015. Cinderella 2015 is a Disney live-action remake of Cinderella, and it came out in 2015, directed by Kenneth Branagh, and stars Lily James, Cate Blanchett, and Helena Bonham Carter. To quickly sum up the plot, it's pretty much the same plot as Disney animated Cinderella film, but in live action. Pretty much everyone knows the story of Cinderella, so I don't think I need to explain what it is, what it's about. It's pretty much the same story in live action. That's pretty much it. Now, I remember when the trailers for this movie came out, it did look good. I was interested to see a live action remake of Cinderella. I grew up watching the original Disney animated Cinderella on VHS as a kid. I was interested to see what Kenneth Branagh would do with the story. The cast looked good, and when I saw this movie in 2015, I remember liking it. I enjoyed this film when I first saw it, and years later, I still think it's good. I think this is one of the better Disney live-action remakes, and a good one. First on my positives, two really good performances from both Lily James and Cate Blanchett. Lily James is a perfect choice as Cinderella. She definitely captures the kindness, the sympathy, and optimism of Cinderella. She is just a perfect choice as Cinderella. And this was the first film I took notice of her, and she would continue to be a talented actress for years with movies like Baby Driver. She's a talented actress, and I thought she did a very good job as Cinderella. If there is one Disney villain I love to hate, that is Lady Tremaine. I hate this villain so much, just how despicable she is, just how much she doesn't care for Cinderella. This is a Disney villain I just love to hate. And despite that I prefer Lady Tremaine in the animated film over Lady Tremaine in this film, I still thought Cate Blanchett did a pretty good job in the role, and I could tell she was having fun in this role. And she does try to make you just hate her character, just how much of a terrible person she is. And I also like how they add in more of Lady Tremaine, of where she's coming from and why she doesn't like Cinderella, and why her and her annoying stepsisters just treat her like a slave. And I thought Cate Blanchett did a pretty good job as Lady Tremaine. My favorite part about this movie is Kenneth Branagh directing and the visuals of this movie. This is a stunning looking movie. Kenneth Branagh did a really good job of bringing Cinderella into live action. He definitely did a good job with that. It reminded me in the first Thor movie of how he got a grand scope of Asgard. The whole look of Asgard was incredible in the first Thor, and for the ball scenes in this movie, that's what he did in this movie. Definitely getting the grand scope of the ball, bringing it to live action, and it looked incredible. Yeah. And this is such a visually appealing movie, and such a well shot and well made movie. The production design is excellent, the costume design is fantastic, the visuals are pretty good. This is such a visually appealing movie, and there are some changes to the story that I actually did like. For my favorite change of the story, they actually made the prince an interesting character, unlike the prince in the animated film where he's just a prince. Here, he's not just some handsome guy. They actually gave the prince more to do in this movie. Him and Cinderella have conversations before the ball, he has more scenes with his father, and they actually made the prince a good and interesting character, and that's what I really liked in this movie. And this feels like its own version of the Cinderella story, which I liked. This is not a musical, and there are mice characters in this movie, but they don't talk, they're not the comedy relief, and I actually do like that this is trying to be its own version of the Cinderella story, while still having the same story elements as Cinderella, while also doing its own thing. And that's what I like about it. Sadly, I do have some flaws with this movie. I will get to those right now. First, Helena Bonham Carter as the fairy godmother, she's fine in the role. However, I felt like they made the fairy godmother a little more goofy and less caring and sympathetic. In my opinion, I think a different actress would have done a better job. I felt like she was a bit too goofy and less more caring and sympathetic, at the point where Cinderella is at her low point. Her dress has been ruined, she's not allowed to go to the ball. Her family hates her. I felt like the fairy godmother was a bit too goofy in this version and less caring and sympathetic. And also at the beginning of this movie where Cinderella is a kid and with her parents, the opening is a bit cheesy for me. And also the message of the film of have courage and be kind. I do think that's a good message, but I felt like they said it too much. It was like, yeah, we get the message. Overall, Cinderella 2015 is a pretty good live-action remake. I do prefer the original Disney animated film, but this one is still good on its own. It's well acted, well directed, and some of the changes worked well to the story while doing its own thing. And if you have not rewatched this movie, and if you're considering about rewatching it, I'd say give it a rewatch. I think this is a pretty good live-action remake and one of the better ones. And overall, I am going to give Cinderella 2015 4 stars out of 5. A pretty good Disney live-action remake and one of the better ones, and Kenneth Branagh did a good job with this story. And next up on the Disney live-action remakes or reimaginings, the one I've been excited for the most, the one I've been waiting for, The Jungle Book 2016. I'm so excited to review that one. That's the next review. I am so excited. So what do you guys think of Cinderella 2015? Do you agree? Disagree with me? Let me know below. Make sure to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new here. It really means a lot. I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another mover.